You've got a million followers on TikTok, right? That's a lot of people, man. That's like what, more people than way more people than Toulouse for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. But my question to you is, what's like, how do you feel because that's a big milestone? Did it make you feel different? What's your what's your take? What's your opinion on social media? Do you resent it sometimes?
Have you watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix? Yeah. I think that's like a great thing to watch, and I actually don't like social media in the sense that I think most of what you see is very toxic. Whether you're trying to be an entrepreneur, etc., like those 0 to 100K in like 3 months, I think just set you up for failure because you think that you're going to get the same results, and you're definitely not, because we're all on similar levels. But I think it depends on the way you use it. I try to be more so on the value side. I try to not like talk about how much I make, or I try not to be like flexing on social media. I try to provide value. I'm huge on that. If I don't know if like followers change me. I try not to get caught up in my ego with like followers, but I don't think much has changed, except that it has been a huge icebreaker for like my business, because I have so much credibility now when I pitch social media. But on a personal level, except like I try, like when I go out in the streets, I'm not like people don't recognize me or whatsoever, right?
You've never been recognized?
I have once, but it's not like in the street sort of thing. Like we were in a group and the guy was like looking at me for like 5 minutes and it's like, I think I've seen you somewhere.
Okay.
Or I get like all my teachers and stuff like that. They told me they see me on TikTok, so that's that.
Wait, teachers from like your previous your high school, right? Yeah.
Nice. And also like I'm not particular. I hate the fact that people think I'm a TikToker. Like it's like, no, I run a business. I don't like TikTok is like 15 minutes into like a 10-hour day. So but honestly, it hasn't changed too much. It has been a great source of revenue. I think many of my friends now look at me as a TikToker or that guy, etc. At first, it was very cringe because when you don't have followers, people just like, he's a TikToker, that's mean as fuck. But now that I have, I guess, a bit of numbers, they look up to it. But yeah. I think.
Well, no, not really. I think what you said on the like value over lifestyle is massive. Like I agree with that so much. Like sure, I'll flex a little bit here and there, right? I'm not gonna lie, but I think like I do so more from a standpoint of like, hey, I'm getting the results, but I don't like making that the core of the content. I feel like people are just so fucking tired of that, right? People understand that like, hey, like just because someone is flexing something, number one, it's pretty easy to fake things. Number two, like you want to, if you are investing into something, right, like a mentorship or something like that, like you want to make sure that the person you invest into, like their free content, their value, the value they're given, like it's legit, right? Because like that's what you're buying into. You're not buying into the lifestyle, because when you buy into the lifestyle, like it's a losing scenario.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for us as content creators, you have to find the right balance between what's going to get views and providing
That's
the value. And in content creation, I think you have to have like that clickbait, almost negative, like shocking factor, and then you can like switch to during the content to like something that provides value.
I feel like that's the hardest thing to balance, especially with TikTok, man. Like that's why with TikTok, that's why I haven't posted in a minute, but I have a hate and love and hate relationship where I just think it's just I find it pretty toxic, and I find it like, obviously you do a great job at it, right? But I often found that I was creating content that I wasn't really passionate about. Like, I would have loved talking about other type of stuff, but and then again, like I understand, like I'm not the typical like creative person that says, oh, I just want to create like what I love, right? Like, no, you have to understand that there's a market. You have to tailor your message to the market. but it's hard to find that right balance where like you're creating content that you really like, that you truly love, and also cater to an audience. And with TikTok, I struggle with that at times. With YouTube, I find it easier. I feel like even just having this conversation, like, sure, I mean, this will get viewed by like, I don't know how many people, but like it'll be less views than TikTok. But like I feel like number one, the impact is sometimes bigger, and also like it's just more casual. Like we're just talking. Again, I love TikTok, dude. I'm so grateful for TikTok. Even the people that I've met, just like you, for example, and all the people. Like,
I mean, I think
I'm grateful for it, but
I think you've also been rewarded for actually creating the good content, because on TikTok, like you haven't, like I've grown faster than you, but my content, I would say, is not as good as yours in terms of like the value I provide, etc. But then you blew up on Instagram where I couldn't. So I think even if you had like this later gratification, you ended up being rewarded for it by exploding on Instagram.
Maybe. I think social media, like a lot of people think that like this, creating content on social media and like being a content creator is easy work, but it's tough, man.
Yeah.
Especially even the mental side of things, like just surrendering to the fact that like there'll be months where everything tanks, and you think you're going to shit, and then there's months where you just think you're on top of the world.
And I had like a full month, maybe even 2 months. I was sitting at like 700K and my videos were barely getting 10K views on TikTok. And like, man, I was like, okay, I'm done. I mean, not I'm done, but like, this is the end. And I kind of hated it. But I knew, and I was telling this because I still was hopping on calls and running my business. I was like, look, there are ups and downs, right? But I was like, I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I came out and I was right about that. It's like, look, just keep doing your thing, keep persevering. There are ups and downs. Sometimes your views will be like 1 million per video, and sometimes you'll be at the very bottom. But if you keep testing and keep grinding, eventually you'll be rewarded.
And it makes for great stories, man. It makes for great stories, and I think that's like a really good lesson that can be applied to anything. Like even for the agency building, people watching this, like. You just have to hit that ice until it cracks. And even when it cracks, like you still have to, like there'll be times when it just feels so hard, and you just have to, you have to stay consistent. Like if you just focus on the results and what's coming back, like obviously you have to look at the feedback, optimize, right? I'm sure you did that. Maybe this is not quite working anymore. Let me switch things up. Let me try different things, right? Like you have to be smart about it, right? But it's about staying consistent, and that applies for social media. That applies for like the agency, like people who are, there's just some people who just don't have. Well, I think you can cultivate that, but if you don't cultivate that, it's so hard to be successful in anything, really. Like if you don't have that perseverance and that also patience while you're persevering to get a specific result, like you don't really have what it takes,
Yep.